Hello everyone, welcome back to Angel's Night Talk. Today's topic is the ugly truth behind the Trump phenomena. Please subscribe and remember to click the bell button so that you will receive notice when new videos posted on my channel. Thank you. Before the start of this program, let's take a few seconds to have a look at some footage first.
I totally disavow the Ku Klux Klan. I totally disavow David Duke.
When you say the party is self-destructing, what do you see as the biggest problem with the Reform Party right now?
Well, you've got David Duke just joined, a bigot, a racist, a problem. I mean, this is not exactly the people you want in your party.
So are you prepared right now to make a clear and unequivocal statement renouncing the support of all white supremacists?
Of course I am. Of course I am. How many times do I have to reject? I've rejected David Duke. I've rejected the KKK, the Ku Klux Klan. The neo-Nazis and the white nationalists, because they should be condemned totally.
Ever since Donald Trump announced to run for president in 2015, the world is no longer the same as we know it. News from mainstream media worldwide became propaganda, and everything is about pushing the narrative of how bad Trump is to brainwash ordinary people. Despite all the effort, there are still growing numbers of Trump supporters that choose to think independently, because no matter how hard they tried to defame him, Trump is the president, delivered his promises unlike all the career politicians in the past. The Trump phenomena swept across the world and created a huge division between his supporters and his haters. But it's all about what people think they know about Trump, which brought out the question, if you never met him in person, how can you tell the information about him is the true reflection of his character? When people argue about Trump over the internet, everyone seems to be an expert. The difference is, Trump haters always repeat the same thing from the mainstream media, but Trump supporters can point out what he actually did for the American people. Most people did not notice the pattern that a lot of the news from the mainstream media was coming from anonymous sources. People with common sense should at least ask, when did that become the new normal in journalism? If anonymous sources become the new standard of journalism, maybe tabloids will become mainstream in the future. When Trump haters fixated on the Russian collusion for the past 4 years, they ignored the fact that the Mueller report found nothing after spending all the time and money. More importantly, when the Mueller team was under investigation, they wiped out 27 phones clean. To apply common sense, people might want to ask, what were they hiding? When Trump haters try to tell the world he's racist, they ignore the fact that the black community and other minority groups get real benefit in his first term. And he denounced white supremacy over and over and over again in public, as shown at the beginning of this video. The left always believes the racial narrative is the best weapon they have, and whenever they want to attack any disagreement, they will accuse others of being racist. But they forgot their presidential candidate Joe Biden's famous remark, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you aren't black. When Trump haters try to accuse him of downplaying the COVID-19 pandemic, they ignore the fact that their favorite expert, Dr. Fauci, is on the same page with Trump for the same reason, not to panic the people. Except Trump wanted to save more lives with hydroxychloroquine plus zinc, but mainstream media successfully demonized the drug that has been widely used for over 60 years to block any possible cure before the election. They prefer more casualties so they can blame everything on Trump. As part of the new phenomena, the Trump derangement syndrome has spread across the left from the top to the bottom. It's not hard to understand the mainstream media is working for the ruling class to defame Trump, since his policy put American people first and ruined the agenda of globalization. But for ordinary people, the hatred towards Trump will be against their own interest. Because if Biden wins the election, the tax cut from Trump administration would be reversed, and more jobs would be shifted to China. So ordinary people against Trump really showed how well the propaganda worked to brainwash victims, just like what happened with China and North Korea. When people without freedom of speech cheering for their dictator government, stay away from them is the best choice. And the same rule applies for Trump haters, because you cannot debate stupidity. They will only believe the narrative that fits in with their prejudice. All common sense is no longer valid. Any truth against their prejudice will only aggravate them, and that is one of the reasons behind all the violence in the Democrat-controlled states. On the other hand, people with common sense should at least ask, what's the positive outcome of Trump's first term? There is no need to list them all, but did you hear anything from the mainstream media at all? If not, people should see the media bias is real. When mainstream media stick with anonymous sources, they remain silent about the real news regarding the Biden family's corruption, which has real transaction records through the Treasury Department. And that's when the media lost all their credibility. Another common sense of all the Trump phenomena to consider is that with the powerful worldwide propaganda against him, why he still has such strong support from the American people. His supporters must realize the real benefit in the past 4 years. Otherwise, they should believe the propaganda from the mainstream media. It doesn't matter what people think of Trump as a person, but the Trump phenomena did reveal the ugly truth of the world we live in today. When the United States Department of Justice dragged on for years with the Russian collusion investigation, and now all the evidence pointing to the biggest political scandal in American history, but still no action to hold any criminal masterminds accountable, we should know how corrupt the justice system has become. When mainstream media rely on anonymous sources while call Senate investigation conspiracy theories, we should know the media has become the enemy of the people. When World Health Organization helped China successfully cover up the spread of the pandemic, while Tedros was a nominee of the Nobel Peace Prize, we should know the Nobel Prize has become a joke. When the Nobel Peace Prize was given to the World Food Program, which Hunter Biden was former chairman, and ignored all the historical peace deal in the Middle East, we should know the world we live in is corrupted to the core. In today's world, no matter what happened, it's all Trump's fault, because he revealed that the left around the world is so powerful and was able to turn everything upside down. Behind the ugly truth of the Trump phenomena is a war between the ruling class and the awoken people. Donald Trump has the opportunity to join the ruling class, but he chose to side with the people. And that's why the left is trying so hard to destroy him and silence his supporters. In a free world, the universal value is not to force personal views on others. It's okay to have different opinions, but when you enjoy your freedom of speech and human rights, you must not affect other people's freedom of speech and human rights. We can disagree, but we need to respect. Therefore, spreading hatred to intimidate others is an act of evil that should not be tolerated in modern society. With this standard in mind, you can see through all the lies of the left. We all wish for a better future, but the new world order of globalization is the modern version of slavery, designed by the ruling class. It is time to wake up and to fight for our freedom. I'm Andrew Hathaway. Thanks for watching.